question. I'm going to have to rush through it because there are a lot of parts and I only have 5 minutes. I would normally put about 15 or 20 minutes of this into a example I was giving in a classroom. Anyway, we have two basketball players, Curry and Durand. They play out in the West Coast, and they like to give demonstrations to the youth in San Francisco. And what they have to do is rent out an arena and basically rent seats so that the crowd can come and watch them. And they both love to play in front of a crowd. They have egos, and the more people that watch them, the happier they are. And it doesn't matter whether Curry buys an extra seat or Durand buys an extra seat, they're both happier. That's why we have the utility functions of the two, Durand and Curry, depending upon the total number of seats, which is the number that each buys. Okay, now what we want to do is look at the budget constraint. All right, there's going to be a difference between the budget constraint and the opportunity set. Right, the budget constraint is how much each individual can allocate to the purchase of seats, which we're calling S, and X, other stuff. And the more seats the other person buys, the greater the opportunity set. So let's take a look and see what the budget set would look like. Okay, I've got all this stuff on sheets here, which you should be able to see. Okay, I'm going to be looking predominantly at Curry. Now, if Durand doesn't do anything, Curry could buy 36 seats, or he could buy 36 units of other stuff, or some linear combination of the two. But as Durand buys more seats, his opportunity set increases or shifts out. He can't buy any more than 36x, but the total number of people that can watch the two of them play increases. So that's how we see the opportunity set shifting. Okay, now we want to determine the marginal rates of substitution for both players. If you're not familiar with the calculus, I've taken the derivatives for you, but remember that the marginal rate of substitution is the ratio of the marginal utilities. And they're identical for the two. And we have a tangency requirement that the budget constraint must be tangent, or the opportunity set must be tangent to the indifference curves. All right, so or the MRS must equal the relative price ratio, which we've set equal to 1 for convenience. When we do this, excuse me, and substitute into the budget constraint, we get like a conditional demand for seats by Curry contingent upon how much Durand buys. And that's SC equals 39/2 minus 1/2 SD. All right, that's sometimes called the reaction or best response function. We can do the same for Durand and get 27/2 minus 1/2 C. Okay, we can plug these two in to figure out what we call the Cournot or Nash equilibrium solution would be. And I've done the math here, and I can show you graphically what it looks like. Let's see, right there are the reaction functions, and we see when Durand buys 5 seats, Curry will buy 17 for a total of 22 seats. And they will then, if we plug back in, we can see that when S equals 22, both Curry and Durand will buy 19 units of other stuff. Okay, we have positive external benefits, and we know that with positive externalities, there's an underproduction. That is, we should probably be having more seats. Okay, let's see. To show that this is a Nash-Cournot equilibrium, all we really have to do is show that the indifference curve is tangent to the individual budget constraints. Okay, and we see that with X equal to 19 and total S, total number of seats, equal to 22. All right, what would happen to the utility of each player if they both agreed to purchase one more seat? Okay, well, we know that if each purchases one more unit of S, or one more seat, the total utility will go up by 2, or total seats will go up by 2, and total X will go down by 1 for each of them. So they're getting a double whammy here, and I guess I have to stop recording because I've run out of time. But I do have the rest of the calculations laid out on the rest of the documents if you would care to see them. They're all here. And if you would like to see or hear more about how to solve this problem and why it's relevant, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much.